sixth set will be played on Bel'Shir Vestige. Spawning in the top left-hand position as the red Protoss. Hailing from STX Seoul, his name is Mini. If he wins here today, he will guarantee a victory for his team.
His opponent, to drag it into the ace match, he needs to win set number 6. His name is Hero from EGTO. Spawning as blue Protoss on the bottom right position on Bel'Shir Vestige.
We've seen some cheeses and then more cheeses in PvP today, whether it be a proxy fast void ray or double gateways right in front of your natural. We'll have to see if either of these guys want to go for that kind of play today, or if they'll just, kind of do more of a standard game, maybe even more, towards a macro kind of game.
And in fact, if we talk about PvP macro game these days, we see a lot of those on Bel'Shir Vestige where the players drag it out into the mid-game to the late game, add in some Tempest, go for the Archon, Charge Lot, and Mortal Composition. So this is a standard, this is a map where you see a standard mid to late game PvP compared to most of the other maps out there.
I think it's pretty much without a doubt the most common map to see these macro games on. And
yes.
It's it's a good map for it too. It just kind of leads towards that kind of play style. It's big but not overly too big, and it's still a 2-player spawn map.
Yeah, and there aren't too many bases where the Protoss player can just overly expand as the game goes on. In fact, these 2 players, they can only take up to 5 bases per each player. Hero just scouting inside the main base to make sure that there is no proxy play from his opponent Mini inside the main base.
Yep. Alright, well, neither player wants to go for the proxy, at least at this point in the game. They could still certainly proxy another building a little bit later on in the match here, like a Stargate, maybe even Twilight Council, but generally just the DTs or Dark Shrine is proxy these days here. And the cybernetic score now going down for Mini as well. He's got 2 guys on each gas here, so it looks like he's just going to go for more of a standard play here, not going to go for a very fast Stargate or anything like that.
Yeah, Hero just playing it safe, knows that his opponent's name is Mini, and Mini from STX Seoul, I have to say, he is one of the cheesers. If you combine Mini and Hiva together, they're going to cheese 24/7, and this is the reason why STX Seoul has been winning some matches in Pro League, and that's the reason why they're in 3rd place, because people like Hiva and Mini, they're not afraid to cheese their opponent, because in the end, if you get the win, they are going to rise through the rankings.
You got to mix it up. Got to add in the cheese every now and then.
But I also like that Mini is not going to go for the cheese just yet in this game. If he plays a macro game, I am going to be happy because he needs to test himself to see if he can defeat someone like Hero in a macro PvP game, because if he can, Mini becomes a scary player in the playoffs. You don't know if he's going to cheese or play a macro game, putting his opponent on pretty much on his toes throughout the whole game.
Alright, looks like Hero's going to go ahead and grab an expansion out, the natural. Mini, on the other hand, he should be getting a base pretty soon here. He's already accumulated up to 250 resources. He's saving up a lot here. And no, actually going to add 2 more gateways on instead here. He wants to apply some pressure onto his opponent. Hero now moving around the map here, trying to be... Oh, he's going to be forced back. He sees the Mothership Core. And also this probe over here being moved across the map could build some proxy pylons as well. Mini, he wants to try to take out this base before he can get online.
Yeah, well, he is in perfect position to do so with 2 additional gateways, and Hero only adding 1 additional gateway behind the first one. Mini just enters the main base.
He's going into the main base now. He could potentially force the Nexus Cannon, but Hero absolutely needs that for his natural base. Otherwise, that can easily go under fire here. We do have a Time Warp from Mini, and he's going to be able to use that to pick off the Sentry here. Also grabs a worker or 2, going to move back now. He's got this pylon here. Both players getting the robo behind this. Mini, will we see the pressure come from him on this 3rd base?
Well, the natural, of course, is under fire right now as Mini smells blood. The Warp Prism is finished, and he's turning all those gateways into warp gates, and he's going to start warping in a lot of units.
The trick here for Mini, he needs to keep the Mothership Core away or dead. 1 Stalker gets stuck in there, and he's going to try to focus fire down the Stalker. He gets it. He's going to go after the Sentry potentially as well. Mini, he wants to go into the main base. He doesn't even care about that natural.
Yeah, in fact, he's just saying, you know what, I don't even care about the... he's just trying to force him. 1 Stalker gets stuck in that position. as Whiplash just laughs over it, but we do have an Immortal out on the way from Hero.
Uh-oh, the Stalker's moving into the main base now. Hero forced, no, yes, he is using the Nexus Cannon and the main base, but the Stalker count, very formidable, and now that he's forced the Nexus Cannon in the main base, he can attack the natural unhindered. Hero pretty much can't save the space.
Yeah, he does have an Immortal out, but all Mini has to do is micro his Stalkers, and in fact, if Hero decides to push out with this Immortal, it can get sniped. So the Nexus is not going to get saved today, as Hero has to give it up.
Alright, well, pretty much Hero, he's on a clock now. He can use the force fields, and oh! Mothership core almost dying there. I believe only 2 hit points left remaining for that. He has the time warp. And, you know, he's getting an Immortal behind this. He could go ahead and grab an expansion and just contain his opponent. Yeah. And we could just see Mini move into the mid-game with an advantage. He doesn't want to try to overstep his boundaries here and overcommit, because he could fall behind if he tries to move in here and gets force fielded off, and the Immortals just chunk away on these Stalkers here.
Mini also needs to be careful with the positioning, because his opponent can force field those Stalkers just like that.
Nice force fields, but the Immortals are just slightly out of range here.
That was also perfect, because Mini put a force field so that his opponent cannot push down on the map. Hero, to break this force field, he is building a Warp Prism, and also one Zealot gets inside the main base.
Now, so this is a little bit of a weird spot now. Hero doesn't really have any sentries left on the high ground. He has the Immortals and some Stalkers here, but if Mini gets... Oh.
Yeah, this
Oh, Mini sees it with the Observer! He knows exactly what's going on here.
And now he sees a Warp Prism moving out on the map. He's just waiting for Hero to get out of position to go for the Warp Prism.
All right, here we go. Excellent force field. Perfectly. Mini knows what's going on. And he does lose one of his Stalkers here, but the attack plan from Hero is thwarted.
Yeah, and now Mini is starting his Immortals. This is something that he needs to do right now, because if Hero, once he decides to push out, and once he can do so, he can try to go for the counter attack and trying to finish off his opponent. But no, for now, he is only going to go for the Nexus to make sure he doesn't fall behind too much in economy.
Yeah. And you know what? Now behind this Hero, he's got the Warp Prism. He's free to do a little bit of economic damage to Mini. He's behind, but he's not incredibly behind right now. Supply-wise, they're actually dead even. And in PvP, having that extra expansion up earlier isn't as the big deal as some of the other matchups. At least and at this point in the game, the tech becomes a little bit more important here.
And Mini, because he did not snipe the Warp Prism earlier in the game, he needs to split up his army perfectly. And if not, the Warp Prism can drop, and now Hero can kill a lot of probes. In fact, look at this. Mini is in perfect position to defend against the Warp Prism inside the main base. And he also sees his opponent slightly moving out on the map with the pylon.
Yep. 2 pylons being built here from Mini. He doesn't want to get supply blocks. He will be momentarily, but not for too long. Now, the Robotics Bay is currently in production here, and to these Stalkers here from Mini, he knows that there's a potential attack. That's why he has to be very defensive. But Hero wants to move across the map with the bulk of his army, wants to make something happen here. The STX Soul player spots the Warp Prism as well, but the Warp Prism gonna move towards the main army here. Does Hero want to go for a big attack here? That's what it looks like right now.
Well, whatever Mini does, Hero does, Mini already knows about it. He does have less Immortal than his opponent, but remember, he can use a Nexus Cannon to defend against Hero's attack.
Yep, the Hallucinated Phoenix trying to get a good gauge on what's going on here, how many units exactly Mini has. And Hero, I have to say, he's doing a great job of putting on pressure right now. He hasn't even moved into the natural, and Mini still has got to feel like, oh crap, he's coming for me. I need to somehow hold on here.
Yeah, he's just trying to buy enough time to get his Colossus out. Not too a fan of Colossus play in PvP these days, as a lot more players are opting for the Charged Lot, Archon, Immortal, and Tempest composition in this particular matchup.
Here comes the drop, but it's not Immortals this time around. It's simply Zealots. Nexus Cannon going down to the main base. The Zealots trying to pick off a few workers here and there, but they're not going to really be able to accomplish too much over sniping off a few workers. Annoying drop, but definitely manageable. And Hero realizing, all right, I think my opponent's defenses are just a little bit too solid now. He moves back, but goes for the double Stargate after realizing his opponent's going for the robotic play.
Really smart play by Hero. He knows how to counter the Colossus play left and right. So what Mini needs to do right now is either go for his Tempest on his own or hit a timing attack before the Tempest come out from his opponent.
He's only got a few minutes for this timing window here if he wants this to work. And the supplies right now are still fairly even as well. He's going to need at least 2 Colossi for it to really make a difference. The second one is about to complete here. Many moving some units across the map, 2 additional gateways as well. He could make this work. We may see Void Rays come out from Hero. It just depends. Yeah, he is going to go ahead and make Void Rays now, realizing the position he's in. Mini, his timing window is going to be very, very close here. Can he make it work, though?
Yeah, well, he needs to wait for the second Colossus to arrive in this natural fight. He's going to go for the attack anyways, ignoring the Nexus Cannon.
All right, excellent. Force fields go down. Going to trap the Immortals there, and the Warp Prism very smart, lifting them up just like PvP when you lift up the bio units. But no, Hero's defense, it's looking really good right now, and he has just enough units to defend against this attack.
And remember that one hallucinated Colossus was eating up the damage from Mini's actual Colossus. Little mistake by Mini not spotting the hallucinated Colossus, but look at this, he's going to go for the attack once again.
The second Colossus has joined the party, but it's only attacking a pylon right there. The Void Rays charged up, moving on to the Colossus right now, but the Stalkers are going to be able to finish them off. The Immortal count still very respectable at this point. Mini needs to reinforce with more Zealots if he wants to win here. Very nervous, accidentally attacks his unit, but a good force field goes down. He's going to be able to try to snipe up some of these Immortals, but the micro from Hero, phenomenal. Being able to just barely save some of these very low HP units here. An additional Colossus now joining Mini's army here as well. We don't have any additional Void Rays just yet. Hero trying to hold on until his Dark Shrine finishes, but will it be enough? The probes are off the mineral line as well. The Warp Prism going to move there and should be able to pick off the Colossus as well. Can Hero hold here? It's still very close. The supplies, 55 to 64. Mini in the lead here. And these additional reinforcements, it looks like Mini is going to be able to hold to kill his opponent in this position.
Yeah, there's a Dark Shrine on the way. Does Mini have an Observer with his main army? If not, he needs to go back and wait for one additional. But the Observer just arrives in time, as there's no more Nexus Cannon, and all Mini has to do is slowly eat away on his opponent's army.
And let's not forget the probe difference right now, 34 to 41 with Mini in the lead. As long as he controls his army efficiently, he should be able to hold on. Another Colossus joins the fight as well. The Stalkers are going to be able to focus fire down the Void Ray. It falls as well. More additional Zealot reinforcements moving in here. This is the last shot for Evil Genius's team. Liquid's Hero to make the victory here. His micro has been phenomenal this game, but the unit composition not enough. GG is called. STX Soul takes the 6th set.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is how you win in PvP using the Colossus these days. As a lot of people have been saying, this composition is not great unless you go for a timing attack against your opponent.
And let's not forget how close that fight was there. That fight went on for like 5 minutes, and there was no clear victor until pretty much the end there when Hero lost a lot of his probes by having to pull them. But you know, even though Hero lost that game, I still felt like he played extremely well considering his position.
The micro was fantastic, saving the Immortals until the very last second. However, it was just not enough for Hero. Like you said, he lost a lot of probes and he didn't have too much ground army to back his Immortals up.
So unfortunately, Evil Genius's Team Liquid will fall today, and I believe they're going to be knocked down to the 8th place position here as well. And you know, they did show some good games today, but STX Soul, there's a reason why they are so high. They're the number 3 team in Pro League, and they'll be going to playoffs. And they won without their star player innovation.
That's the reason why teams like STX Soul and KT Roaster are scary. Even if the ace player like Innovation and Flash loses their games, their teammates can